The UWSP campus has had a difficult decision to make regarding upcoming budget cuts and how they will affect students' tuition. Recently, the Pointer Compact Developing Committee proposed a plan to raise $5.4 million annually through tuition increase from students. The Pointer Compact is set to add more sections to courses that typically fill up fast, as well as support free peer-to-peer tutoring in math and the sciences and free tutoring for students with special learning needs, create a faculty mentor program, create 8 new full-time administrative staff positions, and 20 additional 9-month teaching and academic and staff positions, and more. Although there has been debate on whether or not this is right for UWSP, the Student Senate passed the proposal 21-3, leaving it up to the Board of Regents and Wisconsin Legislature. We sat down with Chancellor Bernie Patterson to learn more.
Well, I think the bottom line with differential tuition is simply the resources we need to help students succeed at a higher level. We want students to graduate sooner. We want students to not have to wait so long to take critical courses. We want students to have more undergraduate research experiences or creative experiences in the arts. We want students to have additional tutoring services, not just those who are suffering academically, but the B+ student who needs the A- to get in med school. These are important services that help students enhance their education and therefore enhance the value of the degree they're going to receive when they walk across the stage. The Student Senate was faced with, I think, a very difficult decision to make. No one likes the idea of tuition going up. I certainly don't. But we have to look at the bigger picture. And I think what's really important here is the value of that degree you're going to hang on your wall for the next 25 or 30 years. And that's of concern to our students and to even our alums. With what's been happening in the last several years at Eau Claire and La Crosse, they're clearly pulling away from the pack. And we can choose to go with them upward, or we can hang back and be a second-tier university. I think that would be a mistake.
Well, even though I am a Senator Christian, I do not represent SGA in these answers. But my perception of the whole deal was that it was essentially akin to like a life raft or something along those lines, where even though we're going to be facing a lot of financial hard times very soon, this is going to try to keep us going through that and hopefully even solve some of our problems that have already existed. While a lot of that is kind of wishful thinking, just because there's a lot of unknowns about it, we do need at least some of these funds, and hopefully we can apply some of it not to just surviving, but to actually improving the school. We did a lot of surveys of the students, and even though we saw a lot of issues, this is something that was kind of a hot button for it, where a lot of the students felt either uninformed or didn't approve of it. Most of the frustration I saw from students that had to do with this was more of a systemic issue, where they were more angry about just having to pay the money in general, rather than understanding why we're paying the money or the fact that the money is essentially necessary.
I think the senators that were involved in trying to get the word out really gave it 110%. There were sessions at each residence hall, there were open forums, there was a web page established, there were lots of stories in the campus paper, and I think on campus TV.
There were emails that were sent out, and even in the student message of the day, there were links on just telling when they were meeting in the alumni room, and of course I read it, but I know sometimes it doesn't fit with students' schedules, and maybe some students, they don't really care about the message, so they don't attend, but I think there could have been better ways to reach out to students and let them know information about the differential tuition.
The thought of it sounds really good, being able to get into your classes and get what you need instead of, maybe messing around with other classes that you don't need and having to pay extra money for classes that you don't need because you couldn't get into what you wanted.
It could be beneficial, but I think it can be done differently, and I think it would hurt more than be beneficial maybe.
As a business major, I'm not really sure how it is affecting other people who are different majors, but with business major, it is a lot harder for me to get into courses because they do fill up pretty quickly. You have to be pretty lucky to get into one of the courses that you need to.
Patterson says that without a plan like differential tuition, UWSP's future could be grim.
Well, the alternative would be doing less. It would be fewer experiences, it'd be fewer classes, it'd be fewer faculty. There'd be longer waits to get the courses that you need. There would be fewer research opportunities. It would be all the things that we wouldn't do.
For more campus, national, and world news, stay tuned to The Pointer at pointeronline.uwsp.edu.